Okay, so hello and welcome to my reaction and review of Shingeki no Kyojin chapter 118. So, I recorded my reaction a couple hours ago when I first got the chance to read the chapter, and I'm doing the review now after having let the chapter settle for a bit. Now, with the way I review these chapters, I basically go through from start to finish and give my thoughts as it progresses, right? So, because of that, I didn't want to have both the reaction and review play out in full, because you'd be seeing like the same thing twice in a row, basically just one would being in slightly more detail. So what I decided to do is I'll have the reaction play out first, but it'll be heavily edited to only show the highlights of the reaction, whereas the review will go into much more detail. If you guys want me to upload the full reaction, I will. The highlights of it are going to be in this anyway, so without further ado, this is my initial reaction. Hello and welcome. Gonna have to speak quietly because it's still very early in the morning. This chapter got released far earlier than I was expecting. There we go. Foul Play. That's an interesting name. Of course, you have to take into account this is a fan translation, so, you know, sometimes things aren't accurate translation-wise. Like, I remember the last chapter, the fan name was Heaven and Earth or something, whereas the actual name was Judgment, so sometimes, you know, things aren't accurate. So with everything in this chapter, keep in mind that translations can often be completely inaccurate when it's the fan translation. Okay, so Zeke rearing up, and then boom, throws probably chunks of the wall, and then, yeah, they zoom past. Yep, that one gets hit, that one. Yep, it looks like all 5 of the blimps get hit to varying degrees, but with it being a blimp, if it's hit even once, that's pretty much game over, isn't it? Oh my god. That is an incredible shot. Oh my god. Yelena. Oh. I know a lot of people don't like Yelena, and you know, I understand she's an absolute nut job, I get it, but that's why I like her, because she's so fun to watch. Every chapter she shows up, I cannot wait to see what crazy reaction she's going to have next. Zeke. Oh, that's great. Zeke. Shit, Zeke. Perfect. Confirmation that Flock and the others are here. It's the cart, let's attack it on both flanks. Do they have thunder spears? It's difficult to tell. Oh, you're waiting for me, huh? Oh, that Zeke face is amazing. I love Zeke. Who doesn't love Zeke? Silly people, that's who don't love Zeke. You go to the blimp intended for evacuation at station to the south. Okay, so there's a blimp for evacuation station to the south. To selfishly run when I've caused this much trouble is impossible. Good on you, Gabi. Hopefully people start realising you're not an awful character. I most likely won't be able to meet my wife and daughters again. With a single scream from Zeke, I'd become a monster. There were still plenty of things I wanted to tell my daughter, though. Oh, I'm as good as dead now. Poor Niall. Oh. Stop bullshitting me. Stop bullshitting me, bastard. Who the fuck is everyone? Oh, Connie. Slams on Yogapon against the wall. God damn, Connie. That's your fight. You thought we'd obey this fucking traitor? Oh. Sorry. But if I opposed Yelena, I'd just get my head blown off. Huh? You acting nice with us was all part of your plan to seize Paradise Island behind our back. Enough. I've had enough of being betrayed. Oh, Connie. By Rainer, Bertolt, Annie, Erin. I'm fucking done with this shit. Oh, poor Connie. Poor Connie. Oh, he's been betrayed and stabbed in the back so much. I don't blame him at all for how he's reacting, I really don't. Well then, what the fuck are you saying we should do? Connie yells. I know a lot of people will really be angry at Connie this chapter. It's inevitable, the Attack on Titan fanbase is extremely volatile, but I think, I understand where Connie's coming from. Honestly, I'm finding his anger justified and slightly entertaining. Just as planned, awakening just a few hundred of them, of the Titans in the walls of Shiganshina is enough. If the world's strongest armed force is annihilated, then from now on no one will be able to lay their hands on Paradise for the next 50 years. So, of course, the world armies, all the forces of the world are gathering in Marley right now to launch their attack, right, within the next few months. So if they activate the rumbling and use that to destroy the armies in Malay, then that'll weaken the world's forces enough to where they won't be able to attack for the foreseeable future. Which makes sense, but I don't think that's Eren's actual plan. I say that because Eren's actual plan will be revealed by Eren. That's what's going to happen. I highly doubt that this is how Eren's plan gets revealed. Well, if he kicks the bucket now, I won't be able to sock him. Fair enough, Connie, fair enough. Because it's a lie he forced himself to make, for sure. We can ask Eren when everything's over. Yeah, this is exactly why I don't think this is the truth, because it seems like Isayama is building up to make us think, oh, this makes sense. Armin's explaining, yeah, this is totally what's going on. And then it's going to be like, whoops, actually, no, it's completely different. Surprise, boy. Like, it feels like... I'm not saying I'd be dissatisfied if this is the truth. I wouldn't necessarily be dissatisfied if this was the truth. What I'm saying is this feels exactly like what Isayama would do if he wanted to trick us into believing this was the truth. You know what I mean? Oh, stop right there. This place is under control of the Jaegerists. Don't act as you... Oh, and it's the guys who beat up Shardis, the cadets. Huh? Oh, and John grabs him by the collar, yes. Listen, trainee. Do you intend to risk your life to stop us from rescuing your dear Mr. Jaeger? Oh, yes, Jean. Yes, Jean. Oh, I love Jean. Instructor Shardis. Those injuries. I got into a fight with a bear. I'm fine. Go. Oh, well, at least we know Shardis is okay. This seems like a risky plan because if Zeke screams, then you essentially have an entire... Like, I guess it's better than them all being in one building, maybe? But, like, this just feels like a recipe for disaster because as soon as Zeke screams... most of these guys are going to be transformed into Titans, right? There is only a limited number of three-dimensional maneuver gear equipments here. I assume they're going to give them to the ones who haven't been infected, right? Those who aren't wearing black armbands gear up in priority. Okay, so they're going to prioritize people who aren't as infected with the wine. As for the heavy drinkers who successfully fell for the enemy's plan, follow me. Come to the front line and face the invaders. Huh. So if they are transformed, they'll be going straight for the enemy forces. That's a scary but interesting plan. And she's fixing her belt and we get a close-up. She looks at her scarf. Are you leaving that scarf behind? I am. Oh, that's important. Oh, we haven't gotten a good enough look into what Mikasa's thinking. I would imagine she's kind of trying to break her connection to Eren because she doesn't want to... I'm not sure. Oh, Armin, Mikasa, Jean and Connie going up the stairs. Oh my god, Yelena is so amazing. I love her so much. Walking stairs and goes... She looks at them. They look at her. She looks up. The blimps are on fire. Ah, yeah, they're falling. And they crash. And they look shocked. The gate of Shiganshina district has been blocked. Of fucking course it has. When is it not blocked? It's almost there. And Reiner runs up, and Zeke's gonna throw shit at him, isn't he? Yeah, Reiner's coming up, and then Zeke, boom, throws, and stops Reiner, and gets him. Oh, knocks his leg clean off. Again, Reiner totally would have gotten Eren there if it wasn't for Zeke. In order for Zeke and Eren to save the world, Armin says, let's join the Jaeger faction and help them come into contact. Yeah, Armin's putting on an act to fool Yelena. Definitely. Not to say that he doesn't want to help Eren and Zeke at this moment, but I'm saying he's acting overzealously to try and confirm to Yelena that they are on her side. Huh? Please help Eren and Zeke. I trust you, Armin. What is that about? What is that about? Fucking hell. What is that face? To be like a bitch, I'm onto you kind of face. Like, I know what you're up to, but still, please help Zeke. I trust you, Armin. It's a rifle used against Titans, Colt says. Apparently it's difficult to kill them though, unless you catch a proper hold of the center of their nape. Chekhov's gun right here, goddamn. Also, we gotta remember that Piek is still running around on top of that wall being chased by Flock and his men. We can't forget that. I'm going to restrain this prisoner in private. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, of course, because Falco's still technically a prisoner of war, isn't he? He's not technically on their side, like, officially speaking. Gives him a hug. Oh, so cute. Gives him a little hug. And they, of course, Gabi and Falco overhear that. Oh, and Gabi's crying because she's listening to... She's overhearing what the Browse family is saying about her. Why do you even worry about the people who killed my sister? Yeah, Kai is still being vindictive. Oh, why do I feel like this chapter's going to end on Zeke screaming? Why do I feel like that's going to be the cliffhanger? I hope it isn't. I hope it isn't. Oh, God. There were no devils on this island, Gabi asks. There were only people. Finally, I understand Ryan's feelings. These people that we have not even seen, not even ever seen, all of them, we decided they were devils. In the airship I climbed and always the same thing repeating, always the same thing. Yeah. I'm sorry, Falco. Even though you understood, I dragged you into this. He looks over at the armband. I'm pretty sure he realizes he's probably going to die. I think that's what's going on with that look. I supported the attack on Liberia, he says, because he still hasn't told Gabi about the whole letters thing. Without knowing that wounded soldier in the hospital was Eren Yeager, I kept sending his letters to his comrades from a post box outside the district, and so many were killed in Liberia. So, Udo and Zofia died because of me. And then Gabi's like, she's obviously shocked, right? She looks down, but then she kind of droops her eyes a bit. Oh, she doesn't seem upset at him though. Also, I like you. It's happening, it's happening, it's happening. Also, I like you. Huh? And she opens her eyes again. I became a warrior candidate because I didn't want you to inherit the armored titan. I wanted you to live a long life so you could marry me and be happy forever. Oh my god! Oh, that's so adorable. It's so adorable. And Falco and Gabi are looking at each other. Falco's all... Oh, that's so adorable. What are you saying? And she's blushing as well. Since I might become a titan, now I don't have anything left to say anymore, Falco says. And Gabi's eyes are watering up. And she grabs Falco's armband and rips it off. Let's go! If Zeke knew you ingested the spinal fluid, that'd prevent him from screaming, maybe. Maybe that's the hope. That's the hope, but we don't know what Zeke's mindset is yet in relation to killing his comrades. We already know, like, we saw him throwing rocks at Reiner, so we know that, and throwing rocks at Reiner, it probably won't kill Reiner, but there's always the risk that it might accidentally kill Reiner, you know? So, whether we don't know whether Zeke is willing to intentionally kill. We know he's willing to take the risk of, like, accidentally potentially killing his former comrades, but we don't know if he's willing to intentionally kill them yet. I have to imagine he is, because he seems like the kind of guy who's willing to put his personal feelings aside to get the mission done. So I don't know if Zeke knowing about Falco would be enough, but hopefully it is. Eren, it's almost time. Just a little bit more, and our dream will come true. A little bit more and... Huh? What's that? The Cart Titan. It's skeletalized. What does that... Oh, that's... The Cart Titan. And he looks over. He looks kind of... Look, he looks sad. Yes, he looks sad. He looks concerned, but also kind of sad. He's like... Oh, it's like he knows that this has to be done for the mission. But that doesn't mean he's not slightly, saddened by the fact his comrade is potentially dead. You've been defeated like that, Piek-chan. Yep. Look at that face. He's like, he's sad and concerned, but then he steals his resolve and is like, okay, it's upset that Piek's been defeated, but, what has to be done has to be done. So I think I've gotten my answer. The Jaegerists are flying down. We did it! We brought down the cart! I thought we'd finally caught up to you. By the way, the reason I'm not upset is because it's obviously not that. She's not dead. Like, Piek's not dead. Neither is Miguel. That's not how these two characters die. They're not getting an off-screen death like that. So I'm not upset because they're not dead. We did it. We brought down the Cart Titan. I thought we had finally caught up with you, but who defeated exactly? You killed it, right? and then someone gets shot straight to the head. Oh look, they're hiding. You can see they're hiding underneath the Titan. See, through the head. Chase him away. And they're firing, and then Magath is still. Yes, Magath is still piloting the gun. Yes, Magath. It's a surprise attack with only one shot. General Magath, and fires it, and it goes right through the side, Zeke's the side. I can't remember what they call it, like trap muscles, whatever they're called. Oh, and it just nicks Zeke's arm. Oh, and gets him. God damn. And Eren looks surprised. I mean, of course, his brother just got fucking shot, so of course he's surprised. And Yelena's like, and then Zeke falls. Ooh. He's not dead though, obviously not. First of all, he got shot through the arm, which isn't a death sentence, and second of all, we've seen Titans survive falls like that before. Eren, for example, survived a fall in the most recent season. Oh look, Armin has his beard again, so that means it was just a mistake in the last chapter. They didn't have his beard in Titan form. Anyway, Zeke's critical condition could mean enormous damage. Of course, because here's the thing. I don't think that Zeke wants to scream. That's the thing. I think that's the thing a lot of people don't seem to have realised, kind of including myself up to now, is that Zeke doesn't want to scream. He's using the potential of turning everyone to Titans as a way of, I've forgotten what it's called. Is it like a reassurance? Like, if you come at me, I'll do it. But I don't think he wants to do it. I think it's like, it's a thing where he doesn't want to turn all these people into Titans, but if it's a last resort, he will do it. And that's what Magath is saying now. They didn't kill him. They knocked him down. And so it's like, shit, his life is in danger. He could scream now because he's in danger, which is not good. He will shout for sure. Zeke's critical condition could mean enormous damage. Oh boy. Okay, so this was a fun chapter. Very dialogue heavy. Not that I'm complaining, I'm happy about that. Man, oh man, oh man. But now, here's the thing. In the next chapter, Eren's going to have to deal with Reiner and Falco without the help of Zeke. And I don't think he can do that, to be honest with you. Like, I'm going to be honest, I don't think Eren on his own can take on Reiner and Falco. I just don't. Especially now that he's more tired than he was. He hasn't used any of his Warhammer powers this chapter, which to me says he might have run out of Warhammer juice. You know what I mean? So, if he can't use his Warhammer Titan powers anymore, there is no way in hell he's going to be able to take on both Reiner and Falco. His only hope is if Reiner and Falco are injured, which they look to be, but it depends on how injured. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get into the actual review. So, first of all, thank you everyone, Fugatsu. Thank you everyone who types this. This is an unofficial translation, so of course take everything with a grain of salt because there's always mistranslations in these. Of course, the people who make them are very hard workers and props to them, genuine thank you very much. But it's only, it comes with the job really, doesn't it? Like, there's going to be a few mistranslations here and there. But anyway. So right off the back, we've been getting so many parallels with the RTS arc. We got Reiner versus Eren last chapter, and now we're getting second perfect game by Zeke. And yep, he uses a sideways throwing technique, similar to what he did during his second throw of the suicide charge. And amazingly enough, he takes out all 5 blimps with a single throw. Just goes to show how insanely deadly Zeke is. It's so great to see Zeke being a badass again. Every single Titan shifter is badass in their own way, but, some fans are too busy focusing on Eren to really think about it. Anyway, and then this. Oh my god, this might be one of my favourite shots from the whole manga. This is so awesome. I love this. It's like this one image perfectly encapsulates Yelena's character so well. Perfect, absolutely perfect. She is looking up in awe, arms wide like she's worshipping a god, just in awe of the destruction Zeke has caused. It's the perfect encapsulation of her character. I love it. Plus it just looks amazing. And this bit here looks like the beard, the face and beard of a wizard. Anyway. Also, she's got a nice butt. Anyway. Zeke. Shit, Zeke. I like that. That's a good joke. I like that. I can imagine that if we get a season 4... Oh, God, that's such an annoying, horrible situation. If we get a season 4, I can imagine this being a great little joke where... Zeke, and then immediately cuts to Magath's face in the exact same position. Shit, Zeke. I like that. Adjust the aim, blow off his nape. Understood. Magath, immediately, no hesitation, kill him. I like that. Pieck too, like right off the bat they're willing to kill Zeke. And like, that's the thing, I see lots of people angry at characters like Zeke, like, oh my god, he killed Erwin, he killed these people without hesitation. It's like, everyone does that. Everyone in this manga is willing to kill their enemies without hesitation. Magath and did I say Gabi earlier? I hope I didn't. Magath and Pieck here are like just willing to kill Zeke. They're friends literally for over a decade at this point. Just kill him right off the bat without hesitation. Like, that just shows how dedicated they are, all of them, to the cause. Hurry up, Pieck. But this just shows how insanely fast Zeke's throwing is. Because look, Pieck's got the shot lined up. She's about to fire, but then Zeke throws but immediately the rocks are at her, right? Like I would snap, but I actually can't snap, so pretend that was a snap. Just immediately the rocks are there. And bam, 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 and Pieck jumps. And something that interests me, actually, and something that I hadn't thought about up until now, is Pieck is able to climb the wall, but she can't harden, as far as we're aware. We don't, look, she doesn't look like she's hardened. Because up to this point, we've only ever seen people climbing the wall by hardening their skin and, like, latching their fingers into the wall. You know, whether it be Annie, Reiner, or Zeke, they've always, as far as we're aware, hardened their fingers and grabbed into the wall. I don't think we saw Zeke harden his fingers when he was climbing, but either way, Pieck, whether she's hardened or not, her fingers aren't digging into the wall, yet she's able to climb. That does interest me. I wonder how that works. Maybe she's just really light, but she is carrying that fucking massive artillery gun, so that can't be true. Maybe she's just really strong. Who knows? And then this is a great line. I cannot say it is wise to face the Beast Titan in the firefight. No, I will pass judgment on the traitor. Like, goddamn. First of all, Pieck is hesitant to fight Zeke. I don't think because she doesn't want to kill him. I mean, I think, like I said earlier, she's willing to put Zeke down if she has to. But I think it's more because Zeke's fucking dangerous at a distance. You know, you want to get close to him. Which makes you think she says it's not wise to fight the Beast in a firefight. Does that mean that if she got closer, she'd be able to fight him? Because, like, of course, Pieck's Titan isn't amazingly strong, but she's super fast and she's clearly capable of climbing, so I wonder what she'd be like in close quarters combat. Like, let's say you put Pieck, you know, with no artillery, no guns weighing her down, just Pieck on her own as a Titan versus Season 1 Eren in Titan form. Like, I think Pieck could win that fight. You know, just speed out of the way of his punches and bite him out of the nape. I think she could do that. Of course, she wouldn't be able to beat Eren now, because she wouldn't be able to beat anyone with hardening at the moment, because they'd just be able to harden their nape. But I think Pieck is a lot more capable than people give her credit for. It's just, like characters like Connie or Jean, they're very capable. It's just they're in a world with people who are far more capable, you know? And then Flock, it's the Car Titan, let's attack it on both flanks. Immediately, this shows Flock's actually like a fairly decent leader. Right off the bat, he's like, okay, Car Titan's there, okay, split up, attack it on both flanks. Although this will come to bite him in the ass later, and I'll explain why when we get to it. And anything else I want to say? Oh yeah, well, just Magath, just immediately like, I will pass judgment on the traitor. Like, that really shows his mindset towards Zeke. But Pieck is like, wait, hold on, wait. Like, she's hesitant about this. But then, of course, Flock and his group come up. And, let me see, do they fire at her? No, it looks like they have swords. I definitely don't see thunder spears on them. It looks like they just have swords. Yeah, and they chase after her. Yeah, look, they just have swords by the looks of it. And she's running. And Zeke presumably turns focus back to keeping an eye on Eren. And Falco's getting up. Shit, I took a severe blow. My head is going dizzy. Yeah, my head is going dizzy. I like the way his face looks in Titan form, actually. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Not really much to say. Just, like, Eren's fucking beast and smack the shit out of him. I believe that was the first hit any Titan has ever landed on Eren. Reiner, once again, having no beard in Titan form, even though he will have his beard again later in this very chapter, but we'll get into that later. Yep. Eren's getting back up. And then, yeah, give us a look at each other. Zeke gives this fucking amazing face, like, yes. There's a great face, love it. The Founder, he's heading towards the Beast, so their goal really is to have the two bodies come into contact. So, of course, what you gotta remember, Marley doesn't know what Zeke and Eren's goal is. For all they know, they want to destroy the world, right? So they need, as far as they're concerned, the fate of humanity is resting on their shoulders right now. They need to stop these two from coming into contact, because they don't know what their plan is, right? It's too dangerous. You have to stop that. How are we supposed to do that? All we can do is trust in the Commanders group and leave the Titan battle to them. Here's something that I find weird. Actually, come to think of it. They have these anti-Titan guns, which is established later. Actually, I'll get into this later. When they're introduced. We have our own battles to fight, Falco says. Yeah, Falco, fucking Colt, sorry. Who's actually playing a role in the story now, which is nice. I'll get Falco out of the enemy camp. You go to the blimp intended for evacuation, the station to the south. Now that's going to be important. So let me think. Station to the south, that means that it's stationed outside of Shiganshina, right? So it's stationed outside of the walls. Okay, so we've got that. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, you don't bring up something like a blimp stationed to the south for evacuation unless it's going to come up later. So I imagine that's going to play some sort of role in the story later. Not got much to say about it, just keep in mind that it's there. Now I'll go rescue him too. Gabi, I'm the one who dragged Falco into this after all. I was saved so many times. I, the top of the cadets, did nothing but get saved by him over and over. To selfishly run when I've caused this much trouble is impossible. So here's the thing. Falco hasn't confessed his love to Gabi yet, right? This is just Gabi, just as a friend, like, no, we have to save him. Like, that's not a big thing, but I do think it shows Gabi's character that, like, at this point, she doesn't know about how Falco's feelings. Like, she just wants to save him because, like, no, that's the right thing to do, and I appreciate that. Oh, you open the door, what's going on outside? Looks like Rogue and the other military police guys are banging at the door trying to be let out. I'm not dying like that, so they're trying to get out. Niall and Falco, though, just seem to have resigned themselves to death. Like, it seems like they're just cool with it. Must have been an attack from Marley. They might have come to save you. There's no way the Marley and Armin would do something like that, because rescuing Elgians. But surely you have a family waiting for you to return, right? If you miss this chance, you'll never be able to go home. I think, I most likely won't be able to meet my wife and daughters again. With a single scream from Zeke, I'd become a monster. There were still so many things I wanted to tell my daughters, though. I'm as good as dead now. I think this moment is almost Niall unintentionally giving Falco a reason to live. In fact, yes, I didn't even think about that. Okay, so Falco is like, nah, I'm dead. Why would the Malayan army come for me rescuing Elgians? I'm as good as dead. He's resigned himself to death, right? And then Niall is like, yeah, I'm gonna die. But surely you have a family waiting for you, right? I don't have the chance to speak to my family, you know? I have so many things I want to tell my daughters. I'll never be able to see my wife and daughters again. Like, he's like, by telling Falco how he's never going to be able to see his family again properly, it's kind of motivating Falco. But more importantly, something I literally just realised, there were still plenty of things I wanted to tell my daughters, though. And Falco looks up and then looks down. I think this is Falco realising that he never told Gabi the truth. I think Niall being like, there's still plenty of things I want to tell my daughters, is making Falco think there's still plenty of things I want to tell Gabi, but I probably won't get the chance now. I think that's what's going on here. And then, anyway, moving on. Of course, Onyonkopon comes up with the keys to free them. This is something I'd been expecting to happen since last chapter. I think I forgot to mention it during my review of last chapter, but I was expecting it to happen. Yep. Onyonkopons come up with the keys, gives them a stern look. John Boyegapon. What's happening out there? The Malayan army is attacked from the sky with their blimps. Approximately 500 soldiers got attacked by the armor, the jaw, and the cart simultaneously. Eren is facing them alone. What? He's desperately struggling, but he'll get done for sooner or later. The founder will be stolen by Marley. Please, lend him a hand. Support Eren with everyone. And then Mikasa's like, oh, and everyone's kind of shocked. Niccolo, interestingly enough, is looking at them. He's looking at them rather than at Onyonkopon, which I find interesting. And then Connie is understandably pissed off. Stop bullshitting me, you bastard. Who the fuck is everyone? Yeah. Support Eren with everyone, yeah. Who the fuck is everyone? That's your fight. You thought we'd obey this fucking traitor. Sorry, but if I oppose Yelena, I'd just get my head blown up. You acting nice with us was all part of your plan to seize Paradise Island from behind our back. Enough, I'll get into this bit later. But, yeah, Connie is understandably mad right now. So Eren betrays them, gets Sasha killed, changes side to the enemy and joins Zeke, the man who got Connie's family turned into titans, and then locked them all up in prison. And now is like, oh, by the way, can you help me out? I'm kind of in trouble. Like, no, fuck no, go fuck yourself. Yeah, I get what Zeke's, not Zeke, I get where Connie's coming from. And then this is just sad. Enough. I've had enough of being betrayed by Reiner, Bertolt, Annie, Eren. I'm fucking done with this shit. Like honestly, it shows that he still is pained by Annie, Reiner, and Bertolt's betrayal, which I think means a lot considering it happened 4 years ago. Like, obviously he'd still feel bad about it, you know, he spent 3 years training alongside them and considering them his close friends, right? But the fact that he's still able to tear up, think about how sad and angry he is over their betrayal means a lot, shows a lot about his character. Why? Why do we have to assist Eren and become unable to have children? Oi! Wait, and then Onyonkopons trying to explain himself, but he's struggling because he's been grabbed hold of, and Armin's like, hey, Connie, let's hear him out, okay? Onyonkopon drops. He explains that he didn't know about the wine or the euthanasia, and that the volunteers are the same. And Niccolo confirms, saying Yelena forbid them to talk to the volunteers about the wine. And Onyonkopon continues, you know, he doesn't want to help with the euthanasia of Eldians. He really genuinely did want to help Paradise develop so they could defeat Marley. They abandoned everything for this purpose and devoted themselves for the sake of everyone on the island. He's saying that was true. He promises. We could do it because we believed in the island's future. Children are the future. If this euthanasia plan were to be implemented, then what is it we even came here to do? Right? And Connie's looking, he's still angry, but he's kind of thoughtful. You know, please believe me, I believe you. And then Armin basically explains that he knows Onyonkopon is being truthful because many years ago when they first met, when Sasha asked why Onyankopon's skin was so dark, he replied by saying that God or whoever created them created multiple kinds of people because he thought it would be more interesting if there were multiple kinds of people. So Onyankopon's belief basically is that all these different races and all these different types of people exist because a creator wanted them to exist. So it makes sense from his perspective why he wouldn't be on board with the euthanasia plan. Because he believes that all races and all types of people exist for a reason, so he wouldn't want to wipe out one of them. That makes sense for his character. And thinking about it, I'm surprised that isn't something I picked up on earlier. I guess that's why I really need to go and reread those chapters again. I believe you too, but what do we do? If we help Eren and Zeke, the euthanasia plan will be executed, right? And this is a section that really interests me. If we help Eren and Zeke, the euthanasia plan will be executed. No, we'll impede the plan. But if the two are lost, then this island won't be able to protect itself from the world army. So they need to help Eren and Zeke to stop them from being killed, but they also can't let them come into contact and carry out the euthanasia plan. Okay, so let's say hypothetically, they team up with Eren and Zeke briefly. You know, they fight off the Malayan soldiers, Reiner and Falco, and them are forced to retreat. They beat Marley, and Marley is forced to retreat. Okay, well now what are they going to do? They still can't let Eren and Zeke come into contact, so are they going to fight against them? They can't kill them, that's the whole reason why they're doing this in the first place. I'm just interested to see what their logic in this moment is, what it is they're planning to do, where they want to help Eren and Zeke to stop them from being killed, or at least to stop Eren from being killed, but at the same time, they still have the same goal as Marley in that they don't want Eren and Zeke to come into contact. Well then, what the fuck are we saying? What the fuck are you saying we should do? We must at least let the world witness the power of the rumbling, and that's... I have no idea what Yonkapon is thinking here. Like, I don't know what he has in mind to say this. I'm not saying I disagree with him, but I'm saying that I don't know what he's got in mind. Like, I'm curious. Because he's saying that they can't let Eren and Zeke go through the euthanasia plan, but they do need to let the world witness the power of the rumbling. So how are they planning on doing that? Are they planning on capturing Eren and trying to negotiate with him? Because the plan can't be to beat Marley and then let Eren and Zeke come into contact, because then they'll just do the euthanasia plan as far as Onyonkabon is concerned. So their plan must be to capture Eren, maybe, and try to negotiate with him. Is that their plan? They'd have to capture Zeke as well then, or at least fight him off. Right? Like, I'm just interested to see what their actual plan is. Mikasa, what do you want to do? Do you want to help Eren? I do, but surely that's like Eren said, it's because I'm an Ackerman, not my own free will. And she takes out the scarf. I have no idea where she actually takes it from. Was she holding it before? I can't tell. No, she's holding the scarf, and she looks down at the scarf. It's because I'm an Ackerman. That's not my own free will, she says as she looks down at the scarf. So the scarf is obviously being made to represent those shackles. She's looking at it while she talks about being a slave to Eren's will, basically. So the scarf is definitely being used here to represent Mikasa's lack of free will. Without doubt, that's what it's being used for. Huh? And then Nam's like, I think Eren made that up. And then Mikasa's like, yeah, but I do actually get headaches from time to time. It's true, so why would you think it's a lie? Why? Huh? Eren wishing for Eldians to become completely unable to have children? Do you guys seriously believe that? Armin's yelling at Jean, Connie, and Mikasa like, would you really believe he'd do that? And they're all looking at him. Well, I did think that it wasn't like him, but to go as far as to say that it's impossible. But it is impossible, right? Isn't it Eren we're talking about? Well then why? Why doesn't he oppose Yelena and Zeke? It doesn't matter if he doesn't oppose them. The one who makes the final call on how to use the power of the Founding Titan is Eren himself. Which is a good point. It doesn't matter if Eren is on their side or not, because at the end of the day, it's still him who has the final say in what happens, regardless of what side he's on. So from Eren's point of view, it would just be best to go on at one, just to be on whichever side allows him to make that decision the fastest, you know? If Armin, Connie and them were able to give Eren this option sooner, he'd side with them, but because Yelena and Zeke are the ones who are able to give him this power as quickly as possible, he's sided with them, not necessarily because he's on their side, because he doesn't need to be on their side, because as long as he pretends to be on their side, it'll still be him who makes the decision in the end. From the moment Yelena made her proposal to him, Eren had no choice but to do this. If he refused, then I don't know what method Yelena used, but if he showed his agreement and managed to make her believe that he was an ally, then he could protect the island with the rumbling. So, I've seen some people interpret this as being that Eren was forced to side with Yelena and Zeke and them. I don't personally view it that way. The way I see it is that it's basically what Armin is saying is that Eren is choosing to side with them because by tricking them into thinking he's their ally, it will allow him to protect the island using the rumbling. And if he refused, then Yelena must have used some other method to convince him. I think that's what Armin's saying. But yeah, point is, it doesn't matter that Eren's on the enemy's side, because at the end of the day, it's still him. When you boil it down, Eren only has his own side, if that makes sense. He is Eren, right? And at the end of the day, he is the one who is going to use the power regardless of what happens as long as he stays alive, right? So it doesn't matter which side he chooses to be on, because regardless of what side he's on, it's still going to be him in the end. So he's just going to go for whichever side allows him to use the power quickly, basically. Moreover, the moment he activates his rumbling is now that the main forces of the world's nations are gathering in Marley. Just as planned, awakening just a few hundred of the titans in the walls of Shiganshina is enough. If the world's strongest armed forces are annihilated, then from now on no one will be able to lay hand on Paradise for the next 50 years. So basically Armin is saying that now that so it actually makes a lot of sense, right? That Armin thinks this is the plan. So according to Armin, this is the plan. Eren and Zeke work together to attack Marley. So according to Armin, this is the plan, right? So Eren and Zeke manipulate Marley into declaring war against Paradise. They do that. They get a bunch of leaders and reporters from around the world to come to this declaration of war. Then Eren attacks, kills a bunch of people, weakens Marley, weakens everyone. That happens. And in doing that, they turn the world against them, and also weaken Marley, so the attack will be delayed, right? So the world will attack them, but Marley won't be able to attack immediately. Then, when all the world's forces start gathering together to launch a counterattack, use the rumbling to destroy the world's forces. Armin is proposing that was Eren's plan all along. I don't believe that, because I think it doesn't make sense to reveal Armin's true intentions now. I think that when Eren's true intentions are revealed, it's going to be the end of the story, and it's going to be from Eren himself, most likely. Or at the very least, someone... If it can't be Eren, it's going to be from someone really important, like Ymir, or something like that. But either way, I do think this is an interesting plan, It makes sense. Make the world... Attack Marley into action, then when they all start gathering again together to wage war, use the rumbling to annihilate them all at once, right? It makes sense. I understand where the idea from that plan is coming from. And everyone's like, can we go home now? He's gonna awaken titans within the walls. That's good. But he's gonna destroy a bunch of people. That's bad. But the people are gonna be people from Mali who want to kill us. That's good. But Eren's still a traitor. Can we go home now? Sorry. I'm sorry. Please hold on a little longer, Nicholas says. I've been saying ever since we were training, that guy is dangerous. Eren's leading us all straight into hell. A real piece of shit, that guy, John says. And that bastard, I envied him because he was so damn cool. It irritates me to no end. I don't want that guy to die yet. But I don't want that guy to die yet. Well, if he kicks the bucket now, I won't be able to sock him. Fair enough, Connie. And then they all walk off. We're releasing all the soldiers who got locked up. Niccolo, you're in charge of the Browse family, of course. Why is Eren hiding his true intentions? Mikasa asks. And this is possibly the most important part of the chapter in terms of long-term, storytelling. Mikasa asks, why is Eren hiding his true intentions? Which is a good question, because if this actually is Eren's plan to just use the rumbling to destroy the world forces in Marley, then why would Eren need to hide that from everyone? It makes sense hiding it from most people, because he doesn't want the Jaegerists and then to find out that what his actual plan is, right? That makes sense. But to hide it from Armin and Mikasa, who he knows are loyal to him, that doesn't make sense if this is actually his plan. Why would he do that? And then Armin thinks that, and then he has a flashback to this scene. And if you remember this scene, if you remember in this scene, Eren says, I can't remember the exact quote because it's been a while since I've read this chapter, but it's something along the lines of, on the other side of the ocean are more enemies. If we kill everyone over there, will we be free? And so... no way. I think Armin... Mikasa here is asking, okay, that's an interesting plan and all, but if that's actually true, why would Eren want to hide his intentions from us? Why didn't he tell us? And Armin thinks back to what Eren said, and he thinks, wait a minute, what if Eren doesn't want to just destroy the militaries of the world, gathered in Mali? What if he wants to do more than that? I think Armin here is considering the possibility that Eren might want to just straight up use the rumbling to kill, tons and tons of people. I can't say exactly what Armin's thinking, because obviously I can't look into his head. But of course, there's more to take into account than that, right? For example, in chapter 100 or chapter 99, one of the two, Eren said that before coming to Mali, I viewed everyone on the other side of the ocean as the enemy, but since coming here, I've yada yada yada, we're all the same, blah blah blah. Basically, point is that Eren's mindset has changed since coming to Mali, right? That's the point he was making back in those chapters. So, whatever Armin is thinking right now, I doubt that's going to end up actually being what Eren wants to do, because it seems as though Eren did have a change of heart after arriving at Marley. Maybe this is what Eren planned to start with. Maybe when he went to Marley, this was his intention, you know, to find Zeke and go through with this plan of killing everybody, and because the enemy, we need to kill the enemy. But then when he was in Marley, he had a change of heart, and because, of course, since going to Marley, Mikasa and Armin haven't had any contact with him, really. You know, he was gone for months or however long in Marley. Then when he came back, he was in prison, and he apparently refused to speak to anyone. So that's how I think this is going. I think Eren originally planned to do something more extreme, like using the rumbling to wipe out a whole bunch of people, because he viewed everyone on the other side of the ocean as the enemy. And then and that's why Armin thinks that's what Eren might be wanting to do, because that was the last time Armin interacted with Eren properly. Then when Eren went to Marley, he had a change of heart, but of course Armin and them wouldn't know about that because they haven't had time to interact with Eren since then. Anyway, at least the fact that your head would hurt sometimes is something that both Eren and I have known since forever. He used that to make the lie more reliable. As Pixis said, if you want to tell a good lie, mix in some truth. Because it's a lie he forced himself to make, for sure. We can ask Eren when everything's over, and they're running up the stairs. And then the Jaegers try to stop him. And the moment I love, Jean has people pointing guns at him, and he's just like, bitch, please, walks straight up to them, grabs them by the collar, and is like, look, you don't want to do this, let us pass. And they're like, okay, we'll let you pass. And they go. Either that's a good moment for Jean's character. And then they unlock the door, and something that both makes me happy and also really worries me. Instructor Shardis, those injuries. I got into a fight with a bear, I'm fine, go. So Shardis is obviously still injured, and he's still in his cell, presumably, because of his injuries. But look, he has an armband. It looks like either a black or a red armband. I'm not sure which, but either way, he is infected. He's infected with the Titan Serum, one way or the other, because he does have an armband. Yeah, I got into a fight with a bear, I'm fine. Now, we'll get back to that later, but all you need to remember is that Keith is in his cell, and he's infected, right? Moving on. Are you alright? I haven't gone seen it. And then, okay. Pixar says, alright, everyone who isn't infected, you prioritize getting maneuver equipment out on and get out there to help everyone, right? Those who are infected and are wearing black armbands, you lot come to the front line and face the invaders. So I think what Pixis is doing here is he's saying, like, okay, we're going to have everyone who's infected with the wine just go out there and just get as close to the invaders as possible, so that if Zeke does scream, then it's going to do is get his own forces killed, because the Titans are going to target the enemy first because they're closer to the enemy. I think that's what Pixis' plan is here. He's having everyone who's infected line up towards the invaders, so that if Zeke uses the scream, the invaders first. I think that's what he's doing. What has me slightly worried is that it doesn't look as though Keith came out of his cell, right? It looks like he's still in his cell because he's injured. So I could imagine some dark thing happening where, like, Zeke goes through the plan anyway, you know, everyone transforms into Titans, all of the Titans get killed off, right? And then looks like everything's over, but then Keith Titan, who was back in the building because he never went with everyone else, he comes out of nowhere and boom, eats one of the characters or something. I could see that happening. But overall, I think that I doubt that Zeke is going to scream. Honestly, I feel like I honestly doubt that Zeke is actually going to scream in the end, because also, just side note, we see the garrison and the military police and the scouts all stood side by side, kind of symbolizing everyone's united as one. But anyway, I feel like this plan Pixis is making here to have everyone line up, that's going to be the thing that stops Zeke from turning everyone into Titans. In fact, more specifically, I think having all of them line up like this is going to make Zeke question whether he should take the risk of transforming everyone. And then finding out that Falco is also infected is going to be the final nail that prevents him from doing it. I think. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's what's going to happen. And this is a good little scene. We see Mikasa and I forget her name, I'm just going to call her little blonde girl. The little blonde girl basically symbolises what Mikasa used to be, what she was in the past. This girl who's, loved and cared about and idolised the person who saved them, right? and they have this interaction. I'm glad that you're carrying the same resolution right alongside, yeah. Basically showing that Mikasa has changed. She's not the same as she was before. She's stood in a room with someone who is basically the same person that she was years ago, and you can tell there's a difference between the two. They have very different kind of auras about them, if that makes sense. Also, Mikasa looks very manly in this. I don't have a problem with that. I've got nothing wrong with a manly girl, but she does look very manly, very broad shoulders. But yeah, anyway, shows how much Mikasa's kind of come up, and also, of course, Mikasa picks up the scarf and leaves it behind. Are you leaving the scarf behind? I am. Now, that could mean a few things. It could mean that she's completely lost faith in Eren, but I doubt that. I think it's more just that she doesn't necessarily hate Eren now, but I do think that she is trying to free herself from these shackles, because we established earlier that the scarf represents her lack of free will due to her Ackerman blood, supposedly, right? And Mikasa knows this because she was looking down at her scarf when she was talking about being an Ackerman. So, I think whether or not the Ackerman stuff is true, I think that this symbolizes that regardless of whether it's true or not, Mikasa is going to try and fight back against it now. She's going to try and become her own person. And this is why I honestly hope that Mikasa and Eren never get together, because I like the idea of characters who start off really close and then they realize, nah, this isn't right, and then they drift apart, because it's usually the opposite, right? The main male protagonist and the main female protagonist, they get together by the end, how cute. And I'd like it to be the exact opposite. And I wouldn't be against entirely Mikasa and Eren getting together by the end of the story, but I feel like it would kind of just be a bit cliche, you know? Like, oh, what do you know? They did get together in the end. How nice. Honestly, I don't really like that idea, but, whatever. I will just see how it goes. I'm glad that Mikasa's getting developments. Despite what a lot of people say, Mikasa has been getting development throughout most of the manga. She's been getting development. She got most development in Season 1, a bit of subtle development in Season 2 and 3. And then, of course, in the Malay arc, she didn't get anything because it's the Malay arc, and none of the 104 got developed in the Malay arc for obvious reasons. But she has been getting subtle development throughout the whole manga. But it's nice to see her actually getting overt, obvious, and big development now. That's nice to see. And then they all gear up to fight. And then Yelena, I like this moment from Yelena. This is a great moment. Yelena sees them. Because remember, Onyonkopon didn't go down there on Yelena's orders. Onyonkopon ran off on his own and freed them of his own accord. Yelena wasn't involved in that. So she looks over, sees that the prisoners have been freed and are geared up to fight. She's like, yeah, I don't care. And she just continues looking up at the blimps. I think that shows just how calm and collected Yelena is. As she sees, oh shit, the enemy is free and they have weapons. Whatever, they're not going to do anything to me. And look back up, they're not going to cause any problems. And she looks up at the blimp. And the blimp crashes. The gate of Shiganshina district has been blocked. This is going to be important. It has to be important, because why would they do something as, obvious as having a blimp crash and block the gate unless it ended up being important? It's definitely going to be important somehow. How is it going to be important? I'm not sure, but let's look at which gate it is. This gate is obviously curved, and that's the one that Zeke is on. We don't see Zeke here, and also we don't see the blimp here, so this is blocking the inner gate that leads back into Wall Maria. And we know that there is an escape blimp south of Maria, which would mean outside of this wall. So I'm not sure how this is going to work out, because obviously I can't see the future, but it seems like they're building towards the only way to escape is to leave the walls and head towards the Malayan escape airship, because they won't be able to go further inside the walls because of this blimp. That is to say, everyone on ground level. Obviously people with 3DM gear and Titans can, but you know what I mean, right? Or perhaps they do activate the rumbling and people can't retreat away from the... Ooh, that's an idea. No, never mind. I was going to say, what if Eren activates the rumbling? The colossal titans appear around Shiganshina, But people aren't able to escape into the walls because of the blimp, and so the Colossal Titans turn right back around and head after the people instead. That would be a cool way to fuck up Eren's plan. But then I remembered, well, no, Eren's the coordinate, so he'd be able to stop them from doing that. Unless he did the rumbling, started it, then something happens to Zeke, and then the Colossal Titans target the people inside because they can't retreat. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just theorizing, coming up with ideas. Ignore me. Reiner gets up, charges after Eren, but Zeke saves him. And this is another thing that honestly annoys me about the Attack on Titan fanbase, is that they'll look at things like Eren and Zeke and they'll be like, oh my god, Eren and Zeke are so overpowered, they're so powerful, it's awesome. And they'll look at people like Reiner and Falco losing to them, they'll be like, oh my god, Reiner and Falco are so weak, oh my god, it's pathetic, they're absolute fair. It's like, no! Like, either Eren and Zeke are overpowered, or Reiner and Falco are weak. It's one of the two. You can't have both. It's like saying, oh my god, Batman is so weak, he lost in a fight against Superman? Lol, how funny. It's like, what? No. Superman's fucking overpowered, that's why Batman would have lost that fight, you know? It's like, you can either believe that Eren and Zeke are super overpowered, or you can believe that Reiner and Falco are weak and useless and bad at fighting. It's one of the two. You can't have both. Personally, I think that Eren and Zeke are massively overpowered, and I like that. I like having super dangerous, powerful characters. I like that. But that's my point, right? Like, you can't have both. You can't fucking suck Eren's dick all day talking about how good he is and how he's so skilled and best, most powerful character in the show, and then also say that Reiner and Falco are weak because they lost to him. Those two things don't work together. Anyway, small rant over. But yeah, also another thing I forgot to mention, right? Maybe I've got this somewhere. Yes. I was thinking when I first saw the scene, wait a minute, how is Reiner being injured? Like, Zeke is just throwing chunks of rock at him. Like, we've seen Reiner get hit by cannonballs in the past and it didn't even scratch his armor. Like, I get that Zeke is a strong thrower, but how the hell is he able to throw hard enough to break through Reiner's armor? Like, that seems insane. But then I remembered, okay, what is it that Zeke is actually throwing? He's throwing chunks of the wall, which is hardened Titan skin, the only material shown to be able to break through Reiner's armor. So, yeah, it actually makes sense now that I think, oh, yeah, of course Zeke would be able to destroy Reiner's armor by throwing this, because he's throwing the material that is able to break Reiner's armor. Of course, it makes sense. I didn't even think about that until recently. And here I think is one of the most interesting interactions. Do they even need help? And then Jean questions how Zeke even got here, and basically thinking that Levi must have been killed. And Connie's like, that's ridiculous. There's no way Levi's been defeated, and blah, blah. And Armin obviously looks annoyed and angry. But he turns around, he's like, that's too bad, it doesn't matter, we've got to help Zeke and Eren save the world, join the Jaeger faction, help them come into contact. And we see Yelena, darkened eyes, listening in, and this classic scene. They look at him, Yelena's walking up behind him, dark eyes, and she gives him this goddamn evil glare. And then, please help Eren and Zeke, I trust you, Armin. So, here's what I think is happening here. I think Yelena is testing them, almost. Because look at that, does she have a smirk? I can't quite tell. But she's like, well, obviously Levi, your close friend Levi must have been defeated and probably killed. It just makes sense. And everyone's angry, and then Armin's like, well, it doesn't matter. Let's help Eren and Zeke save the world. Let's join the Jaeger faction, come into contact. I think Armin is obviously trying to fool Yelena here. He's trying to prove to Yelena that they are on her side regardless. But I think he went a little bit too far, and I think he failed Yelena's test. She was doing something that she know would rile them up. But Armin was acting like, whatever, let's be all gung-ho and happy about it. And yeah, let's team up with the Jaegerists and save the world. And I think, Yelena in this moment, this face here is her face of, like she realizes. It's almost like a face of realization, like, yep, he's been lying to me. And he walks up behind him and gives him this ridiculously intimidating stare. I think this stare is meant to be like, bitch, I know what you're up to. Like, I know exactly what you're doing. You've been lying to me this whole time. But it's like, it doesn't matter if Armin's been lying to her, because at the end of the day, she still needs their help to help, save Eren and Zeke. So she's like, please help Eren and Zeke, I trust you, Armin. So I think that's what this is. I think this is Yelena walking up to Armin and giving him a glare and basically telling Armin, I know what you're doing. Don't think that you're fooling me. I know exactly what you're doing. But I still need you to help Eren and Zeke, so just go off and help them. I think that's what this is. Then again, it could just be Isayama having a little jokey fun time. It could be, but I don't know. I doubt that. I think this is meant to be a sign that Yelena has figured it out, and he knows she knows that Armin's been lying to her. And then Armin gives this look, and they go off. Place is turning into a sea of fire. What's this metal pipe? And this is what I was going to bring up earlier. So Colt explains that they have these metal pipes which are used to take down Titans, right? And yet earlier, he was saying that they couldn't do anything to stop Eren from getting to Zeke. But my thought is, well, if they have these rifles that can take down Titans, why didn't you just get like 15 soldiers together, all have them aim at Eren's nape and fire in unison? Like, surely that would do enough damage to take him down temporarily, right? And their goal is to kill Eren, not capture him, so it's not like they would care about accidentally killing him, right? So my guess would have to be they didn't get these guns until just now. I mean, Gabi is acting like she just got these, she only just knows it, but how? Like, I'm just kind of confused about where these guns came from and why they couldn't use them earlier. Maybe I missed something. I assume I missed something, because Isayama isn't someone to make these kinds of obvious mistakes, right? So there must be a reason why they couldn't use these earlier that I just missed. They didn't look as though they had them. In fact, no, they didn't have them, because they had these rifles, but not this rifle. This rifle is new. He didn't have this on him when they saw Eren earlier. So where did it come from, I wonder? From one of the fallen blimps, maybe? I don't know. I don't know where he got it, but he has it now. Maybe I missed him picking it up somewhere. Do let me know if I just missed it. Soldiers coming, yep. And then Falco and Gabi noticed each other. What are you saying, fighting? What's wrong? Shit, they found us. And of course, Colt still thinks they're the enemy, of course. Because he's Malay, isn't he? He's on Malay's side. So this is the enemy. It's my older brother, I see. We have no choice but to fight. I'm going to restrain this prisoner in private, Nal yells, because of course, officially speaking, Falco is still technically an enemy, isn't he? He's still an invader who's been imprisoned, technically. Devils! And Colt is angry because he's talking about going to restrain this prisoner to Falco, and of course Colt doesn't know he's lying. Colt, wait! And then they come up. This is no place for children. Go back home. Mr. Nile, thank you. And Nile gives a little wave goodbye. I'm worried that this might be Nile's goodbye to the audience, not just to... Because look at this shot. Completely white, just very minimalistic. This seems like a final goodbye type shot, and that worries me. But I'm not going to dwell on that too much because, what can I say, Either he dies in battle or he gets turned into a titan or something, but this could very well be his goodbye to the audience, and that saddens me a little bit. I hope not. And this is a very interesting line. Gabi, why did you trust the enemy? No. I think this little no is like, no, they're not the enemy. Like, what do you mean? I think that's what Gabi's saying here. I think Colt is like, why do you trust the enemy? And Gabi's like, what? No, they're not the enemy. They're people just like us. I think that's what Gabi's getting at here, but of course she gets interrupted. Here, Niccolo, I think, yells. This is bad, and they hide in the building as they walk past. Sasha's mum is asking about Ben and Mia. How did they manage to escape? Oh, I'm sure it's all right. They're strong. And Gabi begins to tear up hearing these people whose daughter they killed being like, it's okay, they're strong, they'll be okay. Talking about them like they're members of the family, And it really gets to Gabi. And then, of course, oi, why do you even worry about the people who killed my sister? I can't forgive them. I want to kill them. Again, the continuation of this cycle of hatred of, the Eldians oppress the Malayans. Now the Malayans strike back by killing a bunch of Eldians inside the walls, and then the Eldians attack Liberio, and now the Malayans strike back by Gabi killing Sasha, and now Sasha's sister wants to kill the Eldian Malayan Gabi. It's like this cycle of hate. And see, Gabi's, again, obviously saddened by that. Oh, static already, let's go. Gabi? Huh? There were no devils on this island. There were only people. Finally, I understand Reiner's feelings. These people that we have not even ever seen, All of them, we decided they are all devils. In the airship I climbed, and always the same thing, repeating always the same thing. So Gabi's finally realised. And it kind of annoys me a little bit when people are saying, oh, finally Gabi realised. It's like, what? No. Gabi has been coming to this realisation for multiple chapters now, right? She's been coming to this realisation for multiple chapters, you know? Just look at, what was it, last chapter or the chapter before, 1 to 2, where Gabi was like, but I thought you said that we didn't have a future in Marley, to Pierre, like, obviously taking in what people were saying. And I remember in one of the polls, people were like, whatever, Gabi won't care. She'll just keep on hating Eldians like always. She won't learn. It's like, what? No. No. Have faith in the characters. Have faith in the characters. Don't just assume the worst. Anyway. I'm sorry, Falco, even though you understood, I dragged you into this. And Falco looks at his armband. And this is him remembering. Because earlier, Niall said that, I won't get the chance to see my family again. There was so much I wanted to tell my daughters that now I won't get the chance because of this Titan stuff, because of the armbands, And Falco remembers this. He looks at his armband. He remembers that there's so much he needs to tell Gabi, and he might not live long enough to say it if he doesn't say it now. And so he does. I supported the attack on Liberia. Without knowing that the wounded soldier in the hospital was Eren Yeager, I kept sending his letters to his comrades from a post box outside the district. So many people were killed in Liberia. So Udo and Zofia died because of me, he says. He admits. And Gabi, she's shocked, she's sad, but... Oh, she's not angry at him, though, which is nice. She's not angry at him. She's just like, oh. Also, I like you. And the cutest moment in Attack on Titan history. I became a warrior candidate because I didn't want you to inherit the Armored Titan. I wanted you to live a long life so you could marry me and be happy forever. That's such a kid thing to say, isn't it? Like, you can tell that Falco and Gabi are still kids. Like saying, I wanted you to live a long life so you could marry me and be happy forever. Like, it gets the point across, but it's still a very kind of kiddish way of phrasing it, isn't it? Like, be happy forever and live with me and marry and woo-hoo! It's still a very childish, fun way of putting it. Huh? And Falco's all blushing, and look back. What are you saying? And Gabi's all blushing as well. Since I might become a Titan, now I don't have anything left to say anymore. I'm not sure if that's the correct translation. I feel like that might have been supposed to say something along the lines of... Actually, I can't even remember what I was going to say. It doesn't matter. The point is, sometimes mistranslations, keep everything in mind, blah, 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 blah. Since I might become a Titan, now I don't have anything left to say. Oh. Go away, Yahtzee. Go away, Yahtzee. Since I might become a Titan, now I don't have anything left to say anymore. I might become a Titan and be dead, essentially, so I want to say all this to you while I can. He's obviously broken up. And then Gabi rips the armband off of Falco, which says multiple things. First of all, it's her saying, no, I won't let that happen. I won't let you turn into a Titan. I'm going to save you, right? That's... It also says that, the feeling's mutual, It shows that she cares about him as well. That she's like, no, like, I'm going to save you. We're going to get through this, right? And also, it's symbolic and reminiscent of when Falco tore off Gabi's armband all those chapters ago. Remember when Gabi was like, this armband is what makes me different from the devils on these islands, And Falco just tears it off of her, And this is very reminiscent of that. This kind of idea of moving forward with your character. Let's go. If Zeke knew you ingested the spinal fluid, without preventing him from screaming, maybe. Colt says. Yeah, and Falco's still sad. Yep. And look, it's impossible. There are too many enemies. We can't get close to Eren. So what is their plan? They want to get close to Eren to do what? What's their plan? Are they wanting to bring him down? Are they wanting to help him? What's their plan? I'm still a little confused here as to what their plan actually is. The jaw, and then go up, and then Zeke saves him from the jaw titan as well. Smacks him. Eren, it's almost time. Just a little bit more and our dream will come true. A little bit more and... Huh? What's that? And then he notices Piek has been sunbathing a little bit too long. And here's a nice little moment. The cart titan. And he looks sad. Look, he looks kind of shocked and sad. But he steals his resolve, as always. I think that's Zeke's whole character in a nutshell. Like, he's sad by what happened, but whatever, he has to keep moving. He has to move on and get his mission completed. I'm actually in the middle of writing a script for a video about a character analysis of Zeke, which I'm gonna probably be my next video unless something else comes to mind. But that's what I have planned. But anyway, it's a nice little moment for Zeke. He obviously looks saddened by the idea that Piek is dead. But he realizes, it's sad, but we have to do this. We have to complete this mission. You've been defeated like that, Piek-chan. And Piek is And then this is what I was saying earlier when I said Flock telling everyone to attack both flanks and split up was good at the time, but it's going to come back to bite him in the ass. That's because they get tricked. I thought we had finally caught up with you, but who defeats it? Huh? You killed it, right? None of them brought it down, but because they were all split up attacking from different flanks, when they saw the body, they were just like, oh, someone else from one of the other groups must have taken it down. So by splitting up into groups to attack from multiple angles, like Flock said, it allowed them to, attack Piek more effectively to counteract her speed and agility. But in the end, it bit them in the ass because of that she was able to trick them into thinking she was dead, because, you come up and see, when you've split up into multiple groups and you come up and see that she's been defeated, like, oh, well, yeah, one of the other groups must have defeated her, right? And then the confusion lasted long enough for them to come out with their rifles and blam, 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 start shooting. Huh? It's a surprise attack with only one shot. And then this awesome shot of General McGath. Oh, General McGath is rising through the ranks, man. He's been so cool these last few chapters. He is so amazing. I love him so much. He's so awesome. He's been rising through my favourite character ranks for a long time, getting higher and higher. But then, yeah, he takes the shot, shoots an angle through Zeke's neck, just scrapes the side of Zeke's arm, damages him but doesn't kill him. And then, Aaron's like, what? He looks surprised. And Yelena looks shocked as well. No glint in her eyes, meaning she's, it's kind of like shocked and saddened and like, oh, because that's, because the glint represents like hopefulness and happiness, right? And dreams. And then Zeke falls, bam, smacks into the ground. A battered Reiner and Falco. Piek, no way it's the Piek, no way it's the commander. Did we kill him? Piek also looking kind of sad and shocked, but also like, did we do it? Did we win this? I can't focus on the angle of fire. Move, hurry. If he still has a little bit left in him, he will shout for sure. Zeke's critical condition could mean enormous damage. Oh, so McGath needs to get into position to take that final shot. But here's the thing. Zeke is now on the ground, quite close to Eren, so all Eren needs to do is run up to Zeke and touch him, right? So, here's my prediction how next chapter's going to go. Eren is going to be heading towards Zeke, but Reiner and Falco are going to be holding him off and buying time and trying to take Eren down. Piek and McGath are going to be trying to get a better shot off on Zeke, but Flock and the Jaegerists are going to be keeping them busy, right? Because if it's not them, I don't know who. Maybe Mikasa... No, I don't know. What are Mikasa, Armin, and John going to be doing in this time, I wonder? And then Pixis is going to line up the soldiers. Zeke is going to be unsure as to whether or not he's going to scream, because there's all these soldiers who are infected lined up, and if he screams, they're going to attack his men just as much as the enemy's men, right? And then Falco shows up and he's like, I'm infected, if you scream you'll turn me as well. And Zeke has like a thinking, shocked face, and it's going to end with like, will Zeke scream? What'll he do? Kind of ending, right? That's my prediction for next chapter. We'll have to see if that comes true. This was a really great chapter. Isayama's been knocking it out of the park for like the last 2 years with constant great chapters. Oh, let's be real, he's been knocking out of the park for like 5 or 6 years at this point with constant great chapters every single month without fail, without a break. It's insane. Oh, and look, I just noticed Falco and Gabi are still like blushing. Oh, that's adorable. But yeah, it was a great chapter. It was mostly dialogue, surprisingly enough, for a chapter that takes place in the battle. In fact, I don't think there was any hit by boulders and, you know, a bit with Mikasa and them firing at enemy soldiers. There was a bit of action, sure, but there was surprisingly little considering what's going on, right? Lots of character development, lots of plot and dialogue, and lots of great stuff. There's not really much I can say because, like, I've kind of gone into detail about the individual moments as I was going through the chapter. So all I can really say now is kind of vague statements. I'm interested to see what Armin thinks Eren is doing because he came to some sort of realization. And I'm more interested to see if Eren actually wants to go through with whatever it is Armin has in mind. I'm interested to see why Mikasa left the scarf and exactly what's going through her mind. I like how every single character got a moment in the spotlight. Falco and Gabi got their developments. We got Jean, Connie, Mikasa, Armin, Onyankopon, Yelena, you know, Zeke even a little, you know. In fact, the only characters really who didn't get much development this chapter were Reiner, Falco, and Eren, because they were busy being either battered by rocks or just slowly walking towards Zeke, right? Also, Zeke is MVP because there were a couple occasions this chapter where Reiner and Falco definitely would have taken Eren down if it wasn't for Zeke saving him, right? Because Eren, at the moment, I don't think he has enough energy to use the Warhammer Titan powers anymore, I don't think. And as we saw last chapter, if Eren doesn't have the War Titan power towers, if Eren doesn't have the Warhammer Titan's powers, he can't take on Reiner and Zeke. He lost, without using the Warhammer Titan powers, he lost almost immediately as soon as Falco got involved with the fight last chapter. So without his Warhammer Titan powers, he needs Zeke's help here. But now Zeke's down, which is why I'm interested to see where this goes. Honestly, I don't know who's going to win this. Right? I genuinely am unsure. Because Eren on his own without the Warhammer powers cannot defeat Reiner and Falco unless Reiner and Falco are super injured. But Eren's also pretty injured, you know? So I'm interested to see how that goes. And then of course, Zeke can't defend himself at the moment and all Magath needs is to get one shot off. So I'm really intrigued to see how next chapter goes. Fun action, great character development, wonderful art, some of my favourite panels in the entire manga in this chapter. 10 out of 10, great chapter, amazing. I don't have much to say because most of the small details I already covered while going through the chapter, so I guess I'm just going to leave it there. Unless, I always look, for the last chapter review I did, I looked back and I was like, oh, I should have mentioned this, I should have done more of a review style where I like talked about how good the action was, blah 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 blah. And next chapter I'll make sure to not make the same mistake, and here I am doing it again, but like, I can't really think of anything else to talk about, so I'm just going to leave it there before I end up just repeating stuff. I do manga chapter reviews whenever they come out from now on. I sometimes do like videos about new episodes, but that's not guaranteed. I mostly do like character analysis and stuff like that. I want to do more videos, you know, on stuff from character analysis to looking at theories and trying to, you know, blah 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 blah, all kinds of stuff. So if you want me to cover any specific topics, feel free to let me know in the comments. If there's anything I missed or you want to point out to me, then feel free to bring that stuff up as well. I'm open. And I'll see you next video, hopefully. Goodbye.